You don't think that that's ever going to happen, but I'm very confident knowing that I did everything that I could do. And I'm very at peace with the timing of it. A lot of people look at the catfishing as a defining moment of the demise of our marriage. Or even the family, and it's really not, because there was a lot of things that were happening for years prior. So to look at that moment as the thing that broke the marriage is very inaccurate.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Meri Brown, she spoke to People Magazine. Well, actually all of the sister wives spoke to People Magazine, but there was some tidbits that Meri shared that I felt were like maybe the most honest about their belief system and how their belief system contributed to a lot of the struggles these women had within the marriages. And while some of them have been a little bit less willing to say that polygamy is a bad thing or that they wouldn't do polygamy or really speak to the negatives. I mean, we hear Christine say like she didn't want to share a husband and she's not into plural marriage. But Meri actually digging into the belief system and what she was told about how to manage plural marriage got me thinking, oh my gosh, she's really deconstructing. And in her interview, she spoke about how she was made to feel bad by Kody because she had feelings of jealousy and heartbreak after he made the choice to bring in more wives. So let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, can you please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell so you can get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. If you have something that you'd like to say, make sure to say it and share this video with your friends. Okay, the article was actually in People Magazine and it's Meri Brown opens up about jealousy and polygamy. I thought I was a bad person. So she says, anytime that you expand your family, there's going to be a shift. You've got just the logistical things, but then you've got the emotional things. I'm human and I'm going to get jealous. He's human and he's going to not know how to deal with a woman's jealousy. She went on to say, when you're 20, 21, 25, and 30, whatever, when this is happening, you're not grown up enough. You think you are, but you're really not grown up enough sometimes. Or maybe it's more, not that you're grown up enough, but more that you just can't have the tools in your tool belt to know how to deal with some of these issues. She went into how the Mormons, like fundamentalist church, taught her about jealousy, and this is ultimately what made her feel like a bad person. She said, we're taught in our church structure that jealousy is a thing that you just need to deal with and that you just need to hide it and you just need to be a good person. Now I understand that jealousy is okay. Actually, it can be used as a guide. And before I was like, oh, it's wrong, I'm a bad person. So their church basically is telling them that jealousy is something that you're not supposed to feel. Instead, you're not even supposed to recognize that it's anything that would even happen and that you just have to learn how to deal with it because you're all sharing this man for the greater good of becoming glorified in heaven. And they're taught at their church that all of these lessons that they're learning are going to make them better in heaven. So she's not allowed to express her jealousy. She's not allowed to express her feelings about that. And Kody is not going to allow her to even have these feelings because of the way that they're taught. And then if you're taught that jealousy is a bad thing and you're not allowed to be jealous, and then you feel jealous, obviously you're going to feel like a bad person. So you would internalize. She went on to say, she admits that she often wondered, what's wrong with me for having these feelings? I remember Kody would ask me, if you're okay with them coming in the family, why are you jealous? Why are you having a hard time? Meri recalls, well, 1, I'm human. 2, I didn't understand that it's okay to be jealous, and I thought I was a bad person for having these emotions. So Kody would just put it on her, like, listen, you're the one that said I could do this, and now you're the one that's having these feelings, so why would you be jealous? And I do think that a lot of people that don't understand this faith system automatically say to the women, like, you know what you were getting into. But if you're like Meri and Christine and Robin, and you've been groomed your whole entire life and taught that this is the only way for you to get into heaven, and that you're bred to become a plural wife, and that this is the most godly thing that you can do, not only for your husband, but for yourself, and this is the most, optimal sort of a marriage that you could have, and that it's going to give you the biggest blessings in your eternity. The way that it's sold to these young girls, they don't think that they really have a choice. And they don't know that it's okay to be jealous. They don't know that it's okay to be sad. They don't know that it's okay to be frustrated. And so instead, they have to deal with this private heartache, and then they internalize it and feel bad. She went on to say that the family breaking up was really sad for me. But she said, I'm really, really glad of the connections that I still have within the family. And I'm glad for the people who do have connections with each other. Just because we're one family doesn't mean we all have to have the same relationships with everybody. I think that's a misconception a lot of the times. Not everyone's going to click with everybody else. There's going to be hurt that happened along the way. She said that despite all of that, today life is good. She said, I'm successful in business. I've got other really exciting projects coming along. I've got good people surround me, and I've got an awesome support system. Things are good. So she was obviously honest about how their faith taught them that they're really not allowed to feel jealous, and feeling jealous is bad. And if you're jealous, you must be wrong, and you must be internalizing that. And then if you're in a system where you have to watch your husband impregnate women all the time, and then you have the other factors of her wanting to have more children but not being able to conceive, and you start to recognize how things went the way that they did. Now, she has never responded to any of the allegations from any of the children about how they were treated by her as children. So she's never said, like, yes, I was too hard on them, or no, I was not, or I did the things that they claimed I did. So we're never going to really hear her side of the story, but it sounds like she does have relationships within the family that she still holds on to. One of those is that, she has good relationships with Gwendolyn, obviously Leon, and I know that she and Isabel have a good relationship as well. I don't know, and I think she might have some decent relationships with maybe some of Janelle's kids. I know that she had dinner with Hunter and Logan when she was in Vegas not long ago. So she might have some relationships with some of the older kids. Now, in their spread that they were on the cover of this magazine, and they talked about how the family fell apart. Meri spoke about the jealousy issue, and then obviously Janelle brought up her issues with Meri. She said, when I met Kody, I could see my path. I went in with this ideas of how idyllic plural marriage was going to be, but it was really hard. Meri and I clashed on everything. Our personalities are so different. There was a lot of jealousy, and Kody and I were amazing when it was just us, but the family dynamic was really tough. One of the factors for the difficulties in the relationship with Janelle and Meri had a lot to do with the fact that Janelle was married to Meri's brother prior to her getting with Kody, and the fact that Kody kind of made the decision to add Janelle, I think, without really Meri and Janelle having much of a friendship. So I think Meri wasn't involved with that choice, and I think maybe probably felt a little bit, there's all these different layers of, like, this is my brother's ex-wife, and now she's going to be my sister wife. It would be a lot for anyone to take in, and then she gets pregnant before you, and she's living in the same house as you, and they're very young, very young. Meri was only 19 when she got married. As far as the catfishing incident, Meri kind of wanted to sort of quash and squash the ideas that was a defining moment in their marriages, and that's really when things ended. And she said that there had been issues long before the catfishing happened. It wasn't a defining moment. Like, their marriage was struggling and well before that ever played a role, and it wasn't necessarily what ended their marriage. I would say that they were probably not having much of a marriage even before the catfishing happened. He divorced her. He married Robin. He adopted Robin's kids. He really just kind of abandoned all of the sister wives other than Robin and her kids. And he always would justify it by saying that the kids needed extra love, extra affection, extra attention, because why? they needed to assimilate. And then you always had Robin saying, well, if they don't assimilate, they can take us, they can go live with their dad. She was playing all of her manipulative games. But anyways, it does sound like, based on this article, that as far as Janelle is concerned, this is not a situation that could ever be repaired. So while Kody is sitting there saying that Janelle will come back to him, Janelle is saying something very different. It says her decision to leave after 30 years, however, came down to a growing rift that couldn't be repaired. This was our dream, and I really did mourn the loss of the family we had been building together. We tried as long as we could until we didn't fit anymore. And the quote that people used to discuss, whether or not, like what the possibilities were for Janelle, it's really out of context the way that they used him, in that, like, Janelle says that their whole path is on their way and they're like settling into their new path. Janelle was not saying that about Kody. She was literally saying that about her new path, where she's in this new life, and she was talking about her and Christine that are on a separate side of the world now. So for instance, this is what Christine said: I feel like I finally took my first breath after she left Kody, and I've never felt happier in my life just being me. We're all settling, and then Janelle added, we're all settling into the new path. There's only possibilities in front of us. So she doesn't regret the family. She doesn't regret having the kids, and she's settling into her new life. There's absolutely no indication in this article that she sees herself getting back to Kody. And in fact, the way that the article is written, it feels like Janelle feels like whatever happened between her and Kody is not repairable. Like, they cannot reconcile after that. Kody might think that he's going to reconcile. I mean, hell, last season he spent a long time denying that he and Christine were separated. What I think is weird here, though, is that Kody is coming back into this, and he and Janelle have been separated since December of 2021. Imagine being separated from someone for almost 2 years, and they're going into a national publication and saying that we're going to reconcile. Now, some of the recent things that I feel like Kody was saying were optimistic was they recently paid off Coyote Pass. And so maybe they somehow think that, well, I finally paid off Coyote Pass, and so now Janelle will be happy with me. But there's also now an article from The Sun that says that they have no plans to actually build on Coyote Pass, and Kody apparently wants to move back to Vegas, allegedly. I don't know what Cody's going to do. As of today, none of the properties are on the market. None of their home that they own together is on the market. Janelle is still living in Flagstaff, though she's renting. Kody and Robin live in the home that they own. Everything they still own. Kody and Janelle still have property that they own together. They're still connected via businesses, like through My Sister Wives Closet and a couple other businesses that she opened while they were all married. So I think they have some things that they need to disentangle from, but to act like they're still navigating this breakup, it seems like they've been broken up for a long time. And as far as Meri goes, she says that her relationship with Kody really ended in April of 2021. So she said they were on a drive on their anniversary talking, and I don't know if that was the phone call when she said that he didn't really feel married to her anymore. I'm not sure. Regardless, that's when their relationship really ended, and it just kept ending after that. And so if you think about it, Meri and Christine really left at the same time. And so this recent episode where Robin is asking her to go all in again is after Kody has basically ended the marriage with her, but they hadn't been public about it. So Robin had to have known when she's having this conversation with Meri that doing this, that their marriage is already over, which makes it even grosser. And I don't know if they just have, and Meri's playing along for the show, but according to Meri, their relationship has been over basically since April of 2021. I like to hear Meri deconstructing a little bit, talking about how she, the jealousy aspect and having to feel bad. And I'm sad that she felt bad about that. I'm also glad to know that she doesn't ever want to be in a polygamous marriage again. She does want to date in the future, and she doesn't plan to stay single for the rest of her life. And she does not plan to ever go back into plural marriage at all. Like, that's definitely a thing of the past. So Meri is done with polygamy. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.